Hey all, this is Dr. Soltis, work from home edition, and a few of you were asking to see my work from home setup and kind of what you would need to set up a work from home electronics station. So I'm going to focus on electronics. I have a workspace in the garage where I work on hardware, but I'm going to try to get you started. Today on what you would want to get to work from home. The first thing you're going to need are some microcontrollers. The Sparkfun Inventors Kit comes with the Arduino Uno and a breadboard glued onto this plastic board. It's a good setup, but I prefer things that are a little bit cheaper and a little bit smaller. I like the Arduino Pro Nano. You can plug it straight into a breadboard and work on a project. It has all the same pins as the Arduino Uno, and it has a USB power supply, so you can still plug it into your computer and work off the computer using it. You can get 3 of these for about 15 bucks. If you're looking for a little more power, this thing here is about 20 bucks. It's called the Teensy 3.2. It's about the same form factor as the Arduino Uno, but it has a lot faster clock speed, more memory. It's able to do a lot more stuff. So you're thinking about doing some robotics or things that involve PID control, that might be a good, or you need to process music, that might be a good controller for you. One of my favorite controllers is this one here. It's called the Particle Photon, and it's able to talk to Wi-Fi. This chip has Arduino and Wi-Fi built into it. And so you can see here I have some sensors that can then talk to the cloud, and I can read them from my phone. So that's a really nice chip too, and it's also about 20 bucks. So all of those are really good options to keep in your hardware box here. You can see I have this hardware box, and I have, you can see I have this hardware box, and I have a bunch of different options for microcontrollers that I've built up over the years. But getting one of those, any one of those, is a good one to start with. The next thing you're going to need is a breadboard. This one's a big one from Radio Shack. It ran about 15 bucks. It's really nice if you want to take it to and plug it into a power supply. It has the ports there to plug into a power supply. It's a really nice big breadboard, flat surface, but you can also get some cheaper ones. These small ones work just fine for many projects. So I would grab a breadboard or two, and that will get you started on a place to build your projects. You'll notice I use these jumper wires in all my projects. You can get a little case of jumper wires pretty cheap, maybe just 3 bucks or so, and you'll have all the things you need to make your connections between your different components in your project. Next, you'll need some inputs and outputs so that you can work on some interesting stuff with your hardware. I have a bunch of different things here, but to get started, I would recommend getting a couple LEDs. LEDs are pretty cheap, and you can get a bag of them for a couple bucks. You should get some resistors. I have this really fancy resistor kit. It has resistors ranging from 0 ohms all the way to 1 mega ohm, but I almost never use it. If I were to start my kit, what I have in my main kit here is just a few 10 kilo ohm resistors and a few 330 ohm resistors. Between those two resistors, you'll be set for most of your projects. I like to have a couple buttons on hand and a couple of potentiometers so I can have buttons and knobs to control my project. I also have some different piezo elements, and then if I come over here, I have a few more sensors, some temperature sensors, some I think that's some sort of gas sensor, and just various things that I might want to input, infrared sensor, touch sensor. So just some sensors that I've built up over the years. But you want inputs and outputs, and then you're set to start working on some projects. A couple other things to keep in mind is it's nice to have a way to power your project when it's not plugged into your computer. Here's 2 good options. I have here just a phone charger. This serves as a really good little power supply. I can plug my USB chip in and plug it into my microcontroller. This one here is rated for 5 volts at 1 amps. This line at the bottom here says 5 volts at 1 amp. That's enough power to power most of my projects. If I was running something with motors, I might need some more amps, but that should be a good starter for most of my projects, and it's small. It fits in my box, no problem. So if you have an old charger sitting around, you can keep that in your toolkit. I also picked this up for free on campus. If you ever see a group giving away anything like this, these are really handy to have. This is just a little power bank. I wrote on it that it's 2600 milliamp hours, and I can charge it up, and then I can plug in my Arduino kit and I can run it off of this battery. So this will run my Arduino depending on what it's doing for maybe a couple days, no problem. So I can hook this up and charge it up and then run my Arduino. If I'm doing some sort of remote sensing or testing something out for a while, this is a great little thing. A couple other things that are really handy to have around. These are little bonus items. There's a multimeter, super helpful for kind of checking circuits and stuff. And then just really basic soldering iron. You can get these for not too expensive. These aren't necessary for most of my projects, but I use them pretty frequently when I'm trying to put things together, or if you get a circuit board that doesn't have pins on it, soldering it, being able to solder it together is super helpful. All right, y'all, that's my work from home station. That's all I wanted to show you. That should get you started on a lot of your projects, and you should be able to hack a lot of things together with the stuff I showed you. I think you can get everything I showed for a little under $100. So, you know, you definitely don't need all of it to get started, but it's a good way to have some supplies in case you ever want to prototype a hardware project. I'll show you some more stuff I have at home in the next video. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you have any questions. Bye.